me see. Make sure we got our audio's working. Maybe. Hmm. Oops. Trying to log in here. Hold on. Give me a second. Tablet's being funny. All right, there we go. Podcast. All right. Okay, my audio sounds fine. All that. I'm logged in on my phone, on my tablet now, so we should be good to go. Hide that. Okay, guys, let me see. We're gonna walk. We're gonna just walk up some fucking stairs. I'm gonna take a drink first. It's been a crazy week, man. I mean, like typically, like building a computer isn't all that hard of a thing to do. But goddamn, it's mentally exhausting, you know? Like every single custom build you do, like it's got a different fucking case, a different motherboard, different everything, right? Different cooler. It's all different, you know? Lights, fuck, it's all different. They're always kind of just crazy, right? Most of the shit's pretty plug and play. I mean, most of the stuff nowadays is designed in a way that you really can't plug it into the wrong fucking thing. I mean, there's a few spots where I think you could, but mostly it's like, you know, reset buttons for the fucking motherboard. It's not really going to do much. Let me make sure that we're able to connect. I hope we're connected to Kick. Let me check here. I had an issue yesterday with Kick not being able to be heard on TTS. Well, actually the last 2 days, so I need to test it today. I mean, in theory, it should be working. Let's see. Good morning. Hold on. Are we getting? Huh. TTS is not coming through on Kick for some reason. Anyway, that's all right. The PC build is done. Now, okay, it went really good actually. It took us about maybe what 2.5 hours, 3 hours, or something like that, to basically get everything all buttoned up to the point where we could try to turn it on. We tried to turn it on, it didn't turn on. The fans didn't kick on. Certain parts so what we ended up doing is, because we installed the fan first, or like we installed the fan before we plugged in all the wires. We missed a wire, and up on the top left corner, we completely forgot to plug the whole fucking North Bridge power side in. Like you have your top of a motherboard, and then the side of a motherboard, and the back of a motherboard, and the bottom, right? The bottom is typically going to be where all the power, all the buttons and shit, maybe like USB stuff, maybe some RGB connections, right? Then on the side, next to your RAM, you'll have like that one longer power supply. And then up on the top left corner, you'll have like your CPU power. We didn't plug that in. So it's like, fuck. And I fucking was like, what the hell is going on? Like, and I'm just like so confused, going like, what the fuck? And it was like this motherboard, the way it's buried. You can't see it, right? Like when all the parts are in there. So it's just kind of like out of sight, out of mind. And I'm just like looking over the motherboard, going, everything's plugged in. And then I just Googled it real quick. I'm like, I gotta see, usually it's something simple, right? And so I Googled it. First forum, somebody had posted a similar issue. He posted pictures of his shit. So it was like bare bones. He had stripped it all down. And somebody goes, your CPU is not plugged in. And I was just like, motherfucker. That's exactly what I did. They were like, hit me. I'm like, I never fucking plugged it in. Son of a bitch. I fucking grabbed a flashlight, dude. I went over there. I like looked up in that corner. I'm like, motherfucker, there's the fucking plugins. God damn it. I mean, it usually always is. I told my kid, I'm like, look, man, I go honestly, like, unless you're building a computer every single day, there's a lot of stuff that goes to this thing. These are plug and play. Things plug into the right spot. It's kind of the way it goes these days. But, it's a process, man, trying to figure out how everything's going to fit, right? Most cases are designed pretty well. Most of this stuff is like, just long enough for the reach, like some of those power cables and stuff. But it looks really good. It looks clean. We installed Windows 11 on it last night. Yeah, that happens sometimes. I mean, yeah, and sometimes too, like, sometimes people they'll try to upgrade. This was kind of the problem with my son's computer. They're like, he wanted to upgrade his graphics card, and I'm like, why? You can't put a modern day graphics card in a 14-year-old motherboard. It's just not going to work out very well. An i5 4790K trying to support a fucking, like 4080 or something, not going to happen. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just certain things are not going to work well together. Everything has to be able to provide the right amount of power and stuff, which was really fun with, being able to build a computer with my son, because I have my bachelor's degree. No. We just, look, I have my bachelor's degree in network management. I built computers for a really long time. like fixed PCs and stuff like that. And none of these issues was like, it just, it's, I mean, it's just those things, man. When you build a computer, you kind of just got to take your time, man. You step away for a minute, you get things to a certain point, phase, whatever, right? And then, if things don't turn on, like, you just got to go and recheck, man. Like, sometimes it get plugged in all the way, right? You know what I mean? Like, maybe it's pretty easy on some of those power cables that power the PC's case to accidentally miss and hit the wrong prong, right? Like, they're so tight in there and there's not much room. And like, when you get your fucking hand in there, those are usually the last things that you're gonna, and so sometimes it's just right there in a corner underneath a fan. So, if you're not paying attention, or you don't have it's not lit up well enough or something like that, and the simplest thing can just cause it to not boot up. But once you get a successful boot, it's all good, right? Like, then you can start to look into things and install stuff. I looked through his BIOS. I don't know why it won't let me run his RAM at 3600 though. Kind of odd. Like, the RAM he's got is clearly, it's a 3600 megahertz stick, two 16 gigabyte sticks, and it won't let me bump it up. I don't understand why. Like, typically you'd set your yeah, it's showing, it's not, but it's not, when it boots, it tells me that the post failed. So it's something's up. I don't know why. I told my kid, we'll just run the default settings because it's happy with that for now. It's going to be fine. He's 31, 33, or 20, 21. Wait, I can't remember what, I think, is it 21, 33? What it's wanting to run at by default? Weird. But it's just not letting me change it up. When I tried, the fucking motherboard flashed like red 3 times, and then it went to the thing and it said post boot failed, blah blah blah, something about configurations and yada yada, and then F1 or something to enter BIOS. I skipped one, so they're 1 and 3. Yeah. So, I mean, that kind of, like, I mean, I was gonna say, it shouldn't matter, right? Like, to my understanding, right? Like, doing them like that makes them run better together, right? Like, in most cases, but it's very situational, And like I told my kid, I'm like, anything like that, we got the computer running right now, so any of these fine-tuning things can just, we can figure it out, I mean, moving a RAM stick over one slot is nothing, right? You know what I mean? That's easy. The motherboard is like right there. The only thing that runs over the top is the cooling wire, because he got a badass 3-fan cooler, water cooler with a radiator block, and so there's 9 fans in his computer, man. Thing's silent. It just like you can't even hear it when it turns on. Yeah, it's awesome. No cooling issues there. He's super stoked. He should be. He worked hard. Yeah. It's always fun to build. I love building computers, man. I'm such a tech nerd. Like, I love the problems that come with it. Like, all of the little challenges. I told my kid, I hope you're not worried. I go, because you really shouldn't be. None of this is out of the ordinary. Okay, this is just how it goes. Like, I don't know if I think maybe I've had one or two like flawless builds where like I put it all together and just powered it on and was able to fucking install Windows. Usually some kind of fucking thing, a fan is fucking lacking, or lights. Lights are always problematic, dude. I still haven't figured out his lights on his motherboard right now. Like, it's weird. I think maybe he needs to run the RGX or the Strix program. He got like a lighting controller on his for the graphics card, but or for the motherboard. I mean, not for the graphics card. So he might have to change his light colors in there. I don't know. I got Windows installed, and I helped him install his drivers. I said, the rest is up to you. It's your PC. Have fun. Oh, and there was one more issue. Yeah, it certainly is. Especially when you're going up like damn near like, 15 years in technology upgrades, That's gonna blow his fucking mind. He's gonna love that. One issue that happened, okay, so I was like, well, we should use this time, and since we're taking your old PC out, and let's clean up your desk, pull your desk back, and maybe we'll get the vacuum in here and we'll vacuum up real good. Good time, right? Why not? Do a little wire management, all that crap, get rid of all the shit. And so he went through last night, but we pulled the monitor out the other day out of his bedroom, and we tried to boot the PC. Didn't quite work, and we had some issues. Yesterday, got it up, got it to a point where it was going to boot, and we pulled the fucking monitor out. I turned the monitor on, right? It was sitting there saying ASUS, and then we were plugging the computer in, and right before I went to go hit the power button, like I had everything plugged in, right before I went to go hit the power button, the monitor flashed black, and then went black. And I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, oh, whatever. Maybe it just timed off or something. I mean, it seemed like it was really quick for a time off, but I hit the power button, and then I noticed that the monitor was just flickering. I'm like, what the fuck? So like, I disconnect the HDMI cable, right? And then pretty much just remove it completely from the PC and unplug the power supply, and plug it back in, and the monitor's fucking toast. I mean, are you shitting me, dude? Like, what the fuck? I know, right? I mean, again, monitor's old, okay? This is my speculation, okay? And, I've worked construction, electronics. I've worked this kind of stuff for a long time. As things age, as heat is generated, just sitting in this fucking atmosphere, air dries shit out. Everything has like some degree of moisture to it, right? Like, it's got to. If it were completely dry, it would not be flexible, right? It'd be pretty rigid, and everything would fucking just break and crumble and fall apart. Like, as things sit, as heat's put through components, connections weaken, things dry, things get broken, right? Like, they break down, and then it sits in one spot. So it works fine, right? We're unplugging, like, the end of an HDMI cable into a computer or whatever, Rarely do we ever, like, actually move the device around. So, like, as a device sits in a place for a while, and doesn't get unplugged and stuff like that. Heat buildup and years of that kind of degrade components. And then the day comes to finally move the shit. And you move it and you go to plug it in and it's like you see it get fucked up, you know? And it's usually because when you plugged it back in or when you moved it, something broke down even more. And then by plugging it in, giving it this massive surge of energy again, it blows something. And now it's fucking broken. Like, it just, it's a coincidence, right? But it's not. It's like, yeah, it seems like a coincidental thing, but it happens more often than you might think. Just because it's just the way, it's just use, you know? Energy breaks shit down, man. Like something has to be absorbed, right? There can't be energy put out without something to absorb. Like, is it Newton's law? You know, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. I mean, this applies to basically everything, right? Anytime that I put any form of energy into something, there has to be like some kind of trade-off to absorb that energy somehow. You know, there's a movement of atoms and molecules that happen somewhere to make that happen, right? So we're all just really made up of little tiny floating fucking molecules, you know? Some just more denser than others, and, you know, they bond together better, I guess. Dude, we're so weird. Like, if you really think about, like, I saw a worm in a test tube that was put under pressure. They, like, had this little fucking worm, this little microscopic worm, and they pressurized him. They, like, fucking squished him in this tube, right? And he got all fucking jammed up, and he couldn't move. And then they let off the pressure a little bit, and he was able to straighten out, and he just like was like, yep, I'm out of here. And he just went through the fucking tube. Like, I'm out. Like, fuck it, I'm out of here. Just like through a tube that was able to hold air and pressure and stuff like that. This little microscopic parasitic fucking worm thing. I don't know what it was, but it was able to move through things. Like, that's how small it is. Even though it did get stuck in the pressure, when it was able to oh, it's not? Oh, shit. Here, let me just get rid of it then. I wonder. Oh, because I wasn't. Yeah, it's because it was like. I see. It's because it was like. I had another window open. And it was minimized up at the top corner. I didn't know it worked like that. Wipe down your excuses. Yeah. So the only thing left to do now, I think my son's gonna have to buy. He's gonna have to buy a key to Windows 11 Pro. There's a few places online where you can get the keys for like $12 to $20. Like, you should never have to pay full price for Windows. You just go and get an OEM version, install it. Yeah, what you do is you go to those shady places, like, you know, productkeys.com. I don't know if I would get, but like, there's one that I've gone to a couple times, and you just buy a key. It's usually a pain in the butt. A lot of people say it's a scam, but what you're given this number, right? And what you do is you can call Some of the places will offer tech support, or you can just do it yourself. You just call. When you go into activate Windows, there's an 800 number that's given, and you can call that number, and you give them the information that you get from the purchase, and it'll activate your copy of Windows for you. So you can move your Windows activation to another PC with this method, as long as you have the info and all the stuff you need. So, and it's OEM versions, and you can get them cheap because they buy them in bulk. They like buy mass quantities of keys, and then they sell them for dirt cheap. But that's how I got mine. I've never paid full price for Windows, and I've always run pro versions of them. Oh boy. Yeah, I'll have to see what it is. I can't remember the one. It's literally like product keys, something or other, right? Like I'll let you know when I get it. There's a few of them out there. Some of them are kind of sketchy, but I mean, right? If you can pay with like Google Pay or PayPal, then you don't have to worry about your credit card information getting ganked from you, you know? Like, so I would suggest that if you're ever going to buy from something that feels like it might be weird or sketchy, to always use something like Google Pay or PayPal or some other form of third-party payment that you trust that's allowed on their platform, right? Because otherwise, you're going to have to put your credit card information out there. And I mean, if you feel like it's a sketchy site, then don't put your credit card information on there, please. It's just like, there's other ways that you can pay, and companies should offer that, right? Like, because there's no reason why at this, with all the capabilities that we have, that we should have to go out there and be directly putting in our information like that into other places. Oh my God. But I don't know, like this gal at work, she's in like the last, I think, like 3 months, she's had issues online with her credit card or her credit card or her debit card information getting stolen from some kind of, breach. And the last one was Walmart. She bought something on Walmart, and then somebody bought a whole bunch of shit somehow, with her stuff, and it's kind of fuck. It's a hassle, Yeah, it sucks. Yep, I know. And then they have those little like things too. Now, the little like that they'll put the skimmers that they'll like put over the top. I've seen so many videos of like dudes at like 7-Eleven getting busted with the skimmer, and they're all like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna let management know about this. That's crazy," and they all like yank it from them and like put it underneath their fucking register, like that's where it goes. Like, you fucking scumbags. Yeah. There's a couple guys on YouTube that literally like, that's like all they do is run around and hunt for skimmers, like in the big cities and stuff. And they just like go in there and they have like, you know, like a camera or GoPro or whatever right on their chest so they can see it all. And like, they just yank the fucking skimmer top off the thing right in front of the cash, right in front of the clerk. And the excuses start pouring out. Like, you 100% know. Like, there is no way that that didn't happen on your shift. Like, you know what I mean? And if it's not that way, then the owner knows about it. Terrible. Dude, I know. Everybody wants to just take everything. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, I guarantee you it wasn't some random customer that just came in and put a skimmer on your thing and is going to come back for it later. You know? Like, it's crazy. The technology is like, it's cool, but it's scary at the same time. AI, for example. Dude, isn't it crazy? Electric nuts. Yeah. Whew. Yeah, the AI is cool. I like AI. I really do. I use the fuck out of it, man, for so many things. Like, AI is like the smart friend that I wish I had. You know? Like, and it's like, because you can use it for so many things. All right, yeah. We're here. We ain't going nowhere except up. Up. Ooh. AI is wild, though. I don't know if it's a good thing, bad thing. Ah, 'Then Tesla's just making robots, right? Aren't they just like ready to release those things like in the next year or something? Robots for your home. $30 down. I'm gonna take a drink real quick. I'm gonna pause. So my son will get his monitor tomorrow, I think. The monitor he had, it broke, man. Us moving it around, I think, ended its life. It was old. Oh. Oh. All right. I think maybe we'll just sit down on this bike right here. Alright. Alright. Okay. I'm gonna run to the bathroom real fast. Alright. I'm gonna pull up something here real quick. I'm gonna recap our little week here, huh? For our workouts. I think it'd be pretty good. Okay. Congratulations on completing a brutal week of DTP Extreme. You should be feeling the incredible effects of pushing your muscles to their absolute limits. Week 1 recap. We did Operation Delta Force and Ironclad calves. We had a killer day. My calves were still, that was Monday, and my calves are still pretty fucking sore. We shocked your shoulders and calves into new growth, igniting a transformation that's just beginning. Legopolis now. DTP Extreme. You obliterated every muscle fiber in your legs, setting the foundation for a powerful lower body. Wings of Fury DTP Extreme. Back attack. You unleashed your inner beast and sculpted a wide, thick, and powerful back. Let's see. We had the Pectoral Punisher and the Python Pump and Tricep Torpedoes. Okay. Looking good, right? Engage in light activities like walking, swimming, yoga to promote blood flow and reduce muscle soreness. Stretching. Devote time to stretching your major muscle groups to improve flexibility and reduce tension. Hydration and nutrition. Focus on hydrating adequately and fueling your body with nutrient-dense foods to support muscle repair and growth. You know, I think this is one really good talking point about nutrition. You know, I mean, so many people will say, okay, it's calories in versus calories out at the end of the day. And sure, I mean, at its simplest function, yeah, you know, we need to be in a deficit to lose weight. However, are you going to maintain a deficit of, you know, shit food and expect good results? No, you shouldn't. Like, that's going to allow you to lose weight and not build any muscle, you know, probably. It's not a healthy thing. We really need to prioritize, like, micronutrients out of food as well. It's not just macros. You know, macros are fats, proteins, and carbs, but micros are everything else, right? Vitamins and all the other content that makes up the food, right? So those are your micronutrients. I mean, and then you have minerals, which are going to be even more micro, like trace amounts of minerals and stuff like that, right? So all are really good things to look at when you're thinking about what kind of food to eat, right? Like trying to find a really good balance of all of this stuff. And I'm telling you, here's what you can do. Just eat fucking whole foods, man. Buy, you know, whole food that you need to cook, unflavored, unseasoned. You add the salt, you add the pepper, you add the seasoning. And by you adding seasoning, you need to be careful about what kind of seasonings you get as well, because everything can be negated if you just add a bunch of shit seasoning that has a bunch of sugar and stuff like that, right? So sauces, seasonings, condiments, these things are all extremely dense in calories and usually oftentimes lacking in nutritional qualities. So foods that have a high calories with low, you know, high macros, low micros, not a good thing, right? We want to have, you know, a decent amount of the macronutrients that we're after, as well as have that containing lots and lots of micronutrients within those macros. That makes sense. I can overcomplicate anything, guys. Just give me some time to talk about it. Mental rest, relax and de-stress, engage in activities you enjoy like reading, listening to music, spending time in nature, playing games. Hell, whatever. It's just good to get out. Okay. We've conquered the first week of DTP Extreme, but this is just the beginning. Your journey to a truly extraordinary physique is a marathon, not a sprint. Embrace the challenge, push through the pain, and never lose sight of your goals. Remember, every rep, every set, and every workout is an opportunity to build a better version of yourself. Stay focused, stay dedicated, and let's continue this epic transformation into week 2. Hell yeah. starting Monday, of course. I'm excited to continue this journey with you and create a 4-week program. Let's go, let's go. Hell yeah. Where's All right. Okay. Damn, dude. I'm sweating. Oh, okay, let's see what we got in store for Monday. See how we like this. So, I like these sets. We haven't done any of these ones yet. Just standard DTP, right? It's like a ladder, like a pyramid. You do like shoulder press, and we go 50, 40, 30, 20, 10. And then we move on to another exercise, which in this case is going to be dumbbell front raises. So that'll be pretty good. Reverse pec deck fly, 3 sets of 15 to 20. And then we got calves. Oh shit, dude. It's going to take me a few weeks to get used to working my calves like this. Oh man, bro, that's brutal. Treating the calves like any other muscle, man. And nothing fucking different about them. Might cry. What is a donkey calf raise? Let's see. So I want donkey. Oh, okay. That's actually, yeah. I haven't done those in a long time, dude. Those are actually pretty interesting. So we got a belt here, and I like it. So like this is buff dudes coming in, loving it. There we go. So there's what we're going to be doing for our calf races. Well, one of the that donkey calf races. Yeah. Somebody would get on your back and you would do them. But we're going to do the weighted belt. Carol, what's going on? Oh, it's been a hectic week. But, we got it all done. It was like last night we finished, like literally, like I it was like 8 o'clock when we finished my kid's PC and it booted up for the first time. And I was just like, yes. I kind of feel like he was getting worried, but I don't think he was. He was just, it's always, I get so sidetracked. That's part of the problem. I'm kind of a perfectionist, but his PC is sharp looking. I'll show you guys later. Doing good. How about you? Doing good. Fucking fantastic, actually. I mean, I'm a little tired, but I'm excited. I'm excited for my kid because he built his, he got his computer. I'm just gonna go ahead and say he built it, even though, we did it together. I mean, it's, sometimes I don't realize, my wife, she'll tell me sometimes too. She's like, I get down, I feel like I'm just like, oh, whatever. I don't realize sometimes how much I know about certain things, like when it comes to computers and stuff. And building those, I built quite a few now. It's always an intimidating thing. I think one of the biggest fears about like PC building that I have is that one of the parts is not gonna work, and it's gonna take me a while to figure out like what it is, or like how do you get to the bottom of a bad motherboard. Sometimes like it's just right, like it can be tough sometimes. It's scary. Those parts are fucking expensive, and like, yeah, motherboards are kind of a delicate everything, so it's just scary. It can be an intimidating thing to build your own computer. I understand why people don't want to sometimes, why they just kind of would rather pay for one already built. But at the same time, they want, like, I feel like people want the cost of what it would cost to build a computer, right? Like, but instead you're gonna have to pay like, fuck, dude, like twice as much money as what it would cost. I mean, people's time, their design and stuff like that isn't worth nothing. You know what I mean? Like, even though it takes a minute to like get the right parts and the components and, find a good deal and put all that shit together. Because they think men care. Why Because they think men care. We don't care. It's funny. Uh, uh, 504. $505. Oh. This is how. My audio working? It is. I didn't hear it for a second. Okay. Welcome to the vault. Oh, dirty deeds. Um, I mean, I don't know. I don't really have much knee pain when I and that knee pain is not really anything I have to deal with much, you know? Like usually when I do, it's because of like heavy squats or something like that, right? But I mean, I do a lot of like walking lunges and say Bulgarian split squats and leg extensions and leg curls and stuff, which definitely help to like strengthen up the knee. So, I mean, just, getting the knee, the ligaments, the joints, and everything stronger can help. I mean, I don't really feel like you should be feeling a whole lot of pain while cycling. Yeah, you might want to get in there and just see if you can. Can't hurt, I mean, like, if you have insurance and stuff, right? Like, and it's not a problem to get into the doctor, then, you may as well if they can see you. Yeah, I mean, maybe it's just like something, like I said, like doing leg extensions or leg curls or, like there's like DNS stars more for hips, but still like sometimes, these kind of like more isolated and, wobbly like movements that require us to stabilize, like walking lunges, Bulgarian split squats. Those are going to have a lot of impact on one single knee, right? So because of that, it's going to strengthen up a lot of those stability issues, which I would assume, I would like to think would then translate into you being able to pedal better on a bike. But if that's not the case, then you can go to the doctor. It can't hurt to go talk to your doc, I'm not a doc, so my medical advice should never be taken. But no, I definitely don't want to mess up your knees, Like, that's an important knees and shoulders, hips. I mean, those are every joint is really critical, but I mean, we're on our knees, on our feet so often that an injury to the knee can really kind of just put you out. Like, whenever I feel pain, I really try to like assess it very closely, Sometimes if I hop onto a bike, I might feel some pain at first, like in my knee or something like that, right? And I just kind of like try to make sure that I'm going slow, light, good, just making good contact with, whatever kind of machine that I'm using, really trying to like focus on the area of pain. And if it doesn't subside or start to get better, within a few minutes, 5 minutes or so, I'll start to consider whether or not I should actually take it easy during my day. Sometimes that's what my warm up is all about, really, like just, okay, is my body going to be able to get through the DOMS from yesterday or the day before? Is it DOMS? Did I hurt myself? Sometimes you don't know until the next day, right? And so coming in, like for me, I come in Monday through Friday pretty much religiously. Like there's not much that really is going to break me from coming in. I pretty much have to be sick, like even if I'm fucking injured, a lot of times I will still drag my ass down here. There have been a few times with injuries where it's like, hey, I don't want to do shit, but like I try to do my best to at least get in, because I know that the one thing that is the worst thing that you could possibly do is just not be mobile, right? Like that's never going to do anybody any favors. You have to at least stay mobile to some capacity, Mobility is lack of mobility leads to so many issues, and like some of it can sneak in, because we don't realize that we have a lack of mobility, right? And so we're performing things or daily tasks or whatever in a weird way, which ultimately like causes imbalances in muscles in the legs, the knees, the hips, back, torso, core, which then tugs on joints in a bad way. And over years and years, it's ultimately like, well, shit, if I would have just fucking stretched in my 20s, then I wouldn't have a fucked up back in my 40s, type thing. So, unfortunately, sometimes we just don't realize that until later on in life, when the damage has already been done, and now we're going to have to work really hard to try and reverse whatever we can, which then, becomes our life goals, to gain mobility back that we lost, from improper lifting. It's just one of the reasons why, dude, I hate when Twitch communities start promoting bad form. And Odin, have a good night, man. Appreciate you, dude. Like, when like Twitch communities and stuff in the fitness category start to push really, really bad form and talk about it like it's good, and chat echoes them, like, it's just, oh man, it makes me understand how there's so much bad information out there to people. And I try to promote good form. I try to promote good lifting habits. And, I'm also 43 years old, so I'm at a point in my life where, form is, and the mobility is kind of important. When you're younger, you're like, fuck, I can put my hands behind my back. I can eat a fucking McDonald's hamburger and it doesn't make me gain weight, so why should I care? I can do whatever I want. You can tell me all this shit, but I can go and eat a fucking hamburger and it doesn't make me gain weight. So you're wrong. And then, like, how do you argue with that? I mean, what without being an ass, And then especially when like their chats an echo chamber, it's hard to get a good word in, and it's hard to have a decent conversation when you have a bunch of fucking idiots screaming at you and demoralizing and just putting you down because you simply tried to help out. So I've kind of like, man, I don't mind when, here's the thing, I don't care if somebody has bad form, right? It's a matter of them recognizing and being able to take the constructive criticism and correct their issues and try to be better, right? acknowledging when you have bad form, and and instead of like shunning and putting down and attacking anybody that says that you don't. Like, maybe you just need to go back and look at your video, right? Like, record yourself. A few guys that I would recommend, man, Jeff Nippard, he's pretty good. I mean, I've heard a lot of other names recently. There's another guy, his name is the Bioneer on YouTube. He's a bit unorthodox, but the way he breaks things down and the way he talks about the body and the mechanics and stuff like that, it makes a lot of sense. And when people can simplify things in a way that it's a little bit more easy for us to kind of understand and relate to, it's kind of nice. Because it eliminates some of that confusion, when you just bring simple logic and physics into this situation. I feel fortunate, to say the truth, because I never, like, when I started looking for weight training options and stuff like that, when I really wanted to get serious about it, I started looking on bodybuilding.com and just all over the place trying to find whatever I could. And I stumbled across one of the best free programs that I possibly could have ever stumbled across. It was a 12-week body transformation challenge by Chris Gethin, and it was free. Came with a meal plan, supplement plan, daily videos, everything. It was a really, really good program. And I hopped on that, and I did that. I just followed the instructions. I watched the daily videos. I did it all. And I lost like 60 pounds in that 12 weeks. And learned a lot. And the way that Chris Gethin breaks things down and just talks about stuff, it just fits, man. Like the way that I think, it's right in line. So I'm glad I found him when I found him, instead of finding something else. And however, I already feel like I had pretty good lifting fundamentals and principles from high school. Like, my high school teacher, he had a lot of the stuff that he taught me still kind of resonates with me to this day. I remember being exposed to weight training back in high school and lifting weights, and I had a friend who was he lifted weights like all the time, and he was strong as shit. A lot of people thought that he did steroids, but he didn't. He was just ripped, man. Just one of those naturally strong individuals. And well, I mean, he could have done steroids, but I don't think he did, man. It wouldn't have been something he would have hid from me. Like, we were best friends, he really didn't give a shit. He was just a savage. And some people are, man. Some people are just genetically fucking blessed. I feel like I have decent genetics, but I gain weight really easy. And, that can be both a good thing and a bad thing, because gaining weight really easy means that, if I even fucking look at food, I swear to God, dude, I gain weight. If I look at, processed carbs, I start to get fatter. I mean, it's it's good for gains. Okay. Like it makes it a little bit hard to cut, right, and maintain a leaner body mass. Um, Again, something that I feel like is kind of just ingrained into our genetics. Like some of us are built to be leaner than others, and some of us are just meant to carry more fat. We don't really necessarily get to pick. It's not like we were in control of our genes. They were given to us at birth. So I mean, you know, it's it's a product of our parents mishmashing. So I don't know really. It's not an excuse to not do things to try to be better, but genetics definitely do play a role with the body's ability to be able to produce muscle mass, make gains, burn fat, store fat. Like all of these things are just like, you know, genetic. They're controlled by genetics. So, like I said though, it's no excuse for us not to try. That's never the case. I gotta go to the bathroom, guys. I'll be right back again. Oh man, yeah, the opposite. I gotta eat a shit ton. Well, I mean, I do too, bro. But like, I mean, I gotta eat a lot of calories as well. But that's more because of my energy, my output, right? Like, I, it's like, so if I can get in because for me to gain weight, I have to probably eat like 32 to 3,400 calories, right? To actually like start to put on some weight. And but it's not hard for me to consume that food, right? Like I can easily consume that and I could easily consume more. You know what I mean? Like so I think where like my appetite is just fucking huge, dude. My metabolism works fast and it puts things where they need to go quickly, whether it decides to store it for later used energy or just metabolize it into, whatever. It's just I don't, does that make sense? I don't know. So I do have to eat a lot of calories. I mean, because look, anything over 3,000. I mean, what's a lot of calories? Like, what would define? It's really going to be dependent on your weight, your energy level, and stuff like that. Like a lot of calories for one person might not be that much for another, right? Like somebody who just gets up and goes on a 30-minute walk every day and then has a desk job, I mean, their calorie demand is only going to be like, 1,500, 2,000 calories, maybe 2,500 if they're a little bit of a larger individual, right? But if you got somebody who's fucking doing 2-hour workouts and then also doing like an hour to an hour and a half of cardio, then your calorie demand is going to be much, much higher. And then put on top of that a physically demanding job that keeps a person on their feet all day, or something like construction that's heavy, right? Like, what's the calorie demand on the body then? You know what I mean? And now it becomes hard to be able to consume the amount of food spaced out properly without loading the fuck down on fats and junk, right? This is why so many construction workers are overweight, dude, is because, they eat shit during the day. Their lunch might be McDonald's or some other form of fast food or roach coach thing that comes and pulls in on the fucking job site, right? Your breakfast was like a coffee from the local Starbucks because you don't have time because you're working 12 fucking hours a day, right? And then a muffin or something like that you got with it. Maybe an English muffin or something if you want to have something like that, right? 3,800, I get to 3,000, 3,200, and my body refuses. I got to eat 3,800 to get 3,200. Yeah. And then my body refuses to eat. Yeah, see, that's the thing, right? Like, I don't have that issue, bro. I could easily put down 4,000 calories a day. Like, there's no doubt in my mind at all whether or not I could eat 4,000. I know. Like, I fucking know, dude. It becomes apparent real quickly when I start to log my diet. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm at 3,400 calories. And that's just what I logged. That's not even counting the extra, like, 2 Cliff Bars or something like that I had. There's an extra, like, 440 calories, a few carbs, right? Like, so it's like I just know that in my meals, I'm able to maintain around 3,000 calories, give or take. You know what I mean? Like, anywhere between, like, I would say that it's easy for me to bring it up and bring it down, right? Because, like, you could add in whole milk into your protein shake, or you could make it with water, right? A cup of whole milk as opposed to a cup of water, I mean, the calories change, right? You're adding less protein, your sugars, things like that, right? So there's things to be done to bring the calories up that, I use these all the time based on how intense my workouts are, right? Like, if my workouts are a little bit more intense, I'll have some more fat, right? Maybe I'll double down on my chia seeds or something, instead of 1 tablespoon of chia seeds, I'll have 2. That's, yeah, I try to do about 90% clean too, bro. I mean, like, honestly, that's kind of where I'm at as well. Like, but yeah, like, eating dirty, right? Like, would you consider whole milk a dirty thing? Like, it's kind of borderline because lactose is sugar, and if your idea and your thing is to maintain blood sugar management, keep a low blood sugar, but, like, as we add other nutrients and more fat content and protein and stuff like that, it also changes the way that the body processes things. It's not like we're just drinking 1 glass of milk, right? We're now adding fat, carbs, protein, you know what I mean, to this, and making it going to be now things are going to be a little bit more stabilized, right? At least that's kind of the idea anyways. But I don't know. Some people have different ideas on what dirty is too, because dirty bulking, I mean, like, is it just, is it, you could eat cookies or, I mean, you could change your protein sources around to something more fatty. It really just depends on what your idea of dirty is for your particular diet too, because somebody who's trying to say eat a 40-40-20 diet would say that a keto diet's dirty as fuck, right? Because, like, it's super fatty and not enough carbs. But the guy on the keto diet is going to be like, yeah, no, the 40-40-20 diet's dirty for me, right? Because it's too many carbs. If I do have milk, I try to get raw milk, but can't find it anywhere now. I used to. Yeah, I know. Same, bro. I'd like I it would be nice. I don't really drink that much milk, but every now and again I will have a protein shake and I'll put milk in it. And then occasionally, we'll have some ice cream. Like that's, one of the things in these hot fucking days, man. But it's nice to have a little bowl of ice cream, you know. So I definitely have. I mean, I got three boys, dude. It's hot summer. I mean, my kids are all really active. They're in good shape, man. I have a hard time even trying to get my kids to eat sweets sometimes. Like, oh, you guys want like donuts or something? Why would we want donuts? Sugar doesn't go well in our house, man. We have a thing of sugar in the cabinet and it just sits there. Every now and again we use it for like making something. We bake something or sometimes we need some sugar. But I can't remember the last time that I bought a bag of sugar, dude. It's probably been like 9 months since I bought any fucking sugar. And we have like probably like 2 pounds. We just don't use it. I buy allulose, monk fruit sweetener, and that's usually it for our sweeteners. Allulose and monk fruit. Um, they work pretty good. I mean, other than that, man, I just try to keep things as whole food as I can, as whole form as possible. I use coconut oil, avocado oil. Those are like my two favorite types of oil to use when cooking. If I was going to add like an oil for salad dressing, I would probably use olive oil, right? I think it makes a better salad dressing. Um, when I was a kid, my parents used to give me ice cream, and I refused to eat it. They used to give me steak, and I'd eat that. Yeah, it's kind of. I mean, that's kind of how my kids are. I mean, my kids like ice cream. They just don't like it all that often. Not as much. I probably like ice cream more than they do. Junior likes cookies. He has his he has his cookies. Like he likes Oreos, the chocolate chip cookies. But he's pretty modest about it, right? He'll get like a little half a cup of milk, right, and then he'll grab like 2 or 4 cookies, and that's it. And that's what he'll eat during the day. Like he would take like 2 to 4 cookies to school. Yeah, see, there you go. Like olive oil, you take a shot daily. Hmm. Yeah, olive oil's good. I I'm a bit skeptical on some of the olive oils that are here, because like physically, like the physical properties of olive oil should make your olive oil turn to gel in the fridge, right? And at like room temperature, it should be more liquid. And if you can get an olive oil from the store and you put it in the fridge and it doesn't turn to gel, like a jelly type of substance, then something is off with that oil. Like it's not pure olive oil. The processing that it went through was too heavy, or I don't know, man. Something's not right because the physical properties of olive oil say that it should be jellified or like solidified to a certain degree, like when it's cooled. And a lot of them aren't. And I don't quite understand why. But oils go through an extremely crazy process to get put in that bottle so that we can pour it on our food. So, like the less processing, I guess, the better. The grass-fed butter to my kernel, so I'm getting more fat in my diet. Yeah, yeah. I usually try and get grass-fed butter as well. It's not usually that much more expensive at the store than like some of the other butters. Sometimes it's not always available, so I'll just get, like whatever other brand I can that's actual butter. Sometimes I make my own butter, dude. Have you ever made butter? All you need to make butter, you take a a, a, a quart about a quart glass mason jar, right? 1 quart, and then 1 pint of heavy whipping cream. You dump it in the glass jar and you shake it up. Like literally, bro. It takes a minute. It might take about like 10 or 15 minutes to make the butter because like it's a lot of shaking. And you shake the jar back and forth, dude, back and forth, back and forth. It'll start to like get thick, right? Real thick and white, and like kind of like you just keep it closed, keep shaking it, keep fucking shaking it. It'll feel like it's not shaking, but it is. And eventually it'll start to lump, right? And it starts to lump together. And once it starts to lump together, you just like keep fucking shaking it, dude. And you just get that lump to keep going back and forth from the top of the jar to the bottom, swirl it around in circles or whatever. And then as you start, it'll start to turn yellow and you'll start to squish out like all the water from the cream. And so you can open the jar and you can dump out the water from the cream into the sink. You don't need it. And then you just put the lid back on and just keep shaking it until, and just keep dumping out the moisture until you're happy with the butter that you have. And then I swear to God, dude, it'll be the best butter you ever fucking had. You can mix in salt, you can mix in honey, you can mix in whatever you want, like, you know, but it's so good, dude. Yeah, and you know, so here's what it looks like. When we make butter, usually it's on like the holidays or something like that, or you know, like because it's fun to bring to parties, you know, like we go for Thanksgiving or whatever, or Christmas, and it's like, okay, well let's make some butter, right? And so everybody will take their turn shaking the jar, and like you'll have this mason jar just like shaking it back and forth, like all the different ways. It's something I've been doing since I was a kid, like, and I find it pretty fun, you know. But it's a fun experience, man. And like for like family get-togethers, like I said, it only takes like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, dude. It's something that everybody can get involved in because you're gonna shake it and people get tired and you just pass it off to the next person. They shake it, everybody shakes it, and everybody's like, I know. And then once it starts to turn into butter, everybody's like, oh man, that's so cool, you know. And so it's kind of a fun thing, you know, for like big family groups and stuff like that to do. Hydrate. Oh yeah. But yeah, I've always had fun with it. Kids' computers built. We got it done. Booted up. Installed Windows. The only thing there's one thing. So first off, lights. Lights on all the lights. None of the lights are working on it. I don't know why. I don't know why. I know that it's plugged into the right thing. I absolutely 100% know. I feel like it's just a maybe it's not a post boot, like it's not a pre boot thing. It's like probably like after Windows boots up or something. I don't know, but we're getting it. Oh, today's exercise is done, Chair. It's done. I was about 35 minutes on the stair stepper, and then what? The BIOS on the PC? I mean, yeah, we went in there. I there's no RGB stuff on there inside the BIOS like itself. Nothing to. I feel like it's like there's a program that the motherboard had in its driver suite that allows for RGB control. So I feel like that needs to be installed first, and then we'll probably have access to the RGB lights and all that stuff. Everything is plugged in. There's 9 fans, right? That the PC came with 6, and it came with a RGB controller that all of the fucking fans are plugged into. They all just daisy chain off of one another for power, right? And then they have an RGB controller tail, like a little pigtail that sticks off, and then the daisy chained power goes and plugs into the motherboard, and then the RGB controller has a little whip that comes around and also plugs into the motherboard on the bottom on this little weird 3-prong thing. And I mean, according to the motherboard technical specs and everything, it's the right space. It's everything is in the right spot. And I had forgotten to plug in you have a north bridge and a south bridge, like power connection right on the motherboard, and the north bridge up for the CPU and all that stuff. I didn't plug that in. So we had to take out the top fans again, because it's literally like buried up there in a corner, dude. I was like, why isn't the PC not booting? What is going on? And like everything is plugged in, and then I looked it up online, and somebody took a picture and they said, oh, your CPU is not plugged in. And I was like, God damn it, that's what I did. I didn't plug the CPU power in. So I grabbed the flashlight, dude looked up there, and sure enough, it wasn't plugged in. I'm like, damn it, oh well, Jaden can help me. So I waited for him to get home. As soon as we plugged that in, booted up, all the fans powered on, everything powered on, straight to the fucking BIOS it went, it's like, and then, I plugged in the USB for Windows. I tried to increase my RAM to 3600, which is what the RAM sticks are supposed to be set at, but it fails on the boot and reverts back to the BIOS, and the RAM doesn't get kicked into 3600. It stays at like 2333. I just don't understand why. Or 2133, I mean. It's running at 2133, and it should be running at 3600. Huh? Me? This is my kid's computer, dude. This is my computer. I need a whole new fucking computer, dude. I need a new PC and motherboard. My CPU is not the problem. My motherboard, I'm pretty sure, is it's either the motherboard or the GPU. One of those. It could be my CPU. I don't know, bro. I can't figure it out. I can't like I stress test things, and they come back fine. Like everything works. I'm not gonna use his new parts. He's got the old computer, right? Like he had a computer that has like a 1070 in it. I'm not going to use his new parts to test my shit, bro. That's not even a fucking thing that I wanted to try and get into. He didn't buy parts for my testing purposes. He bought parts for his PC. I mean, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the 1070 out of the other PC. I'm going to put it in my server computer on the wall. I'm going to reinstall Windows. I'm going to try and probably get a new hard drive, or pull out one of my old solid states that's just like a couple hundred gigs, and use it for my Windows install. That way I have the fastest drive I could possibly have in there. And then I'll run Windows off of it. I'll put in the graphics card. I'll install OBS, and I will turn that into a streaming computer. And hopefully that'll solve a lot of my issues as far as like, gaming and playing and stuff like that. Because then I'll be able to, I don't know, man. I don't know. I need to build a new computer before, and then this will give me time. This will give me time to be able to build a new computer. I mean, I can't even really run OBS stably, right? Like OBS and just OBS and all of its components just like fuck up. And it's not even like these are the kind of problems that these are textbook like bad motherboard, like all of the problems that I'm having, dude, are like just crazy issues that are like, you have different kinds of failure on a PC, right? Like PCs can have like catastrophic failure, which is where a component burns out completely and it dies and it won't be used, right? It can't be used. Your PC won't fucking turn on. It's broken. You need to replace the component in order for it to work. But there's like these other types of failures that can happen where certain things can blow out on a motherboard or something like that can happen, and it can cause so many fucking issues on your computer. And it's like, what do you do to, like, at this point, usually these things come down to bad hard drives, bad RAM, bad CPU, bad motherboard. But if the hard drive is not the issue, okay, hard drive's good, great. Stress testing on the GPU comes back fine. Stress testing on the RAM comes back fine. Stress testing on the CPU comes back fine. Then what is my problem? Right? Like, something else. What else? Motherboard. What causes all of the fucking issues that I'm having? A faulty fucking motherboard. Like, everything is pointing to my motherboard being the issue. Like it's just I this has been a problem I've had for a while, that I ran through some tests and stuff, and so I just feel like my motherboard's done, dude. So at the end of its days, and I don't. I mean, maybe I could buy a new motherboard to fix everything. Maybe that's all I need. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's. I mean, my kid's build was $1,100. Oh, and he's got an AMD build. He got a Ryzen 7600. I know, right? I know exactly. Man, this PC, with every other PC and every other computer build that I've had, I've always been able to pinpoint my problems. On this one, on this particular build, this has been the most nightmarish fucking PC that I've ever had in my goddamn life, dude. I'm like, it has been problematic in so many ways, dude. Like I multiple times, like multiple times, it's been an issue, and I've never ever had, like, when my RAM was failing on my other computer, it didn't take me long to figure out that it was my RAM. Like, when not, my GPU died on one PC, and again, it didn't really take me long. I've had multiple hard drives fail, and it's like, it doesn't take very long to pinpoint those issues, right? Like, removing these things from the system will usually fix the problem and create stability, right? Like, so, but in this case, first off, I need a graphics card. Okay, so removing that's not really an issue, or not really a problem, not really a solution to my problem. I suppose I could test with my 1080. I could throw it in my PC and see how it would work, because I used to have it in this computer, and it did work. It worked fine. It was a little bit light on video memory, but it didn't have any of the problems that it's having now. But then I did get my upgrade, and I ran stable for a good solid year and a half, 2 years on that GPU that I have now. I can't remember when I brought it. It's probably 2 years old. And if you look at the life expectancy and the shelf life and of a lot of PC components, man, I mean, after 2 years of heavy use, that's a lot. You know what I mean? Like, advancements have come a long way. I don't really feel like things are designed to be supported much longer than 2 to 4 years. And especially if they're still running after that time, you're lucky. If it's been a heavy used machine, you're extremely lucky. Like, parts fail, dude. They fail all the time. Nothing fucking lasts forever. Yeah. So, I mean, it's just things degrade. Like the monitor, bro. We went to plug in. This is this is what happened. So we went to plug in. I'm like, go grab your monitor and bring it out here, and then we'll plug it in and run and get everything booted up. We can grab a keyboard. We can set it on the table, and install Windows. And he went and grabbed his monitor, came out, right? We plugged it in, monitor powered up, was sitting there, said ASUS, had the logo on it, everything, right? And then I'm like plugging in the PC, plug in the HDMI cable. I get ready to power on the PC, and the monitor flashes black and like stayed black. But I was like, what the fuck? That's weird. I pushed power on the PC, and then I look at the monitor. All the power comes on in the PC. Everything fans come on, all the stuff. And I look at the PC, at the monitor, and it's just like the screen is like flashing, flickering, and the power supply is flickering. Dude, his monitor just happened to go out. It just happened to take a shit and die. Like, in the process of all of this, like, come on, man, what are the chances, dude? Damn it. So we were like, well, I'm like, okay, well, we can go down. There's a store in town, Bimart, right? They sometimes have some PC parts and stuff, but not really very often. We went down and looked at their monitors, and he's just like, yeah, I'm like, these are not really good. And he looked online, and he found one for like $139, dude. FHD, full HD monitor, 165 megahertz refresh rate, AMD FreeSync or whatever. I think, is it curved? It's curved. It's 27 inches. Huh? No, not here. Is that a store? Yeah, there's no store like that here. I've never heard of it. I should probably get going, man. It's 5:55. My wife's got to be to work in an hour. I'm sweaty. I did about an hour and a half of cardio this morning. It's not bad. About an hour and a half, roughly. And then sat here for 30 minutes. There's 3 other people in here right now. Okay, 2. No, 3. There's somebody else over there. But, all right, guys, I'm going to jump off. It's happening. I'm not sure. I don't know what's going on. I mean, we can't really do all that much with the computer at this point because my kid doesn't have a monitor in his room. So his monitor comes tomorrow. I know he wants to get things going, like get some stuff installed, and I don't know. We might just work on his computer. I'm not sure if I'll game or not. I don't know. I want to play games, but I haven't really had much time for it lately. Too busy with other shit. Sidetracked. Listening to a book, man. I've been listening to these. I got sucked into some audiobooks, and I've been listening to them like at work while I fucking walk around and pull out pallets, and just like all the time. And I'll get sucked into it, dude, and just sit there for like 10 minutes just listening to the goddamn book. I hate reading, but I love the stories, but for me, reading is really hard because I'm dyslexic and ADHD. And so, like, it doesn't take very long before it hurts my brain. And I just can't. I'm not very good at it, dude. I suck at reading. I can read technical documentation and stuff like that. Like, but like reading like story words, like that kind of stuff, dude, it's just like I get lost in the words, man. I need like bullet points and like, separation and, information structured in a way that will work for my mind. And stories are not that. Stories are like the exact opposite what my fucking brain needs. But I do like them. So thank God for audiobooks. Well, on that note, we're gonna go, guys. We're gonna jump out of here. Everybody, I am out. I'm not gonna raid anybody today. We're just jumping. So I will catch y'all later. Peace. I'm out.